ASMR Facts video. And let's start with this interesting subject. Vlad the Impaler was born Vlad the III, commonly known as the Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracula. Or in Romanian, it's Vlad Dracula. He was a voivode of Wallachia 3 times between 1448 and 1476. He is often considered one of the most important rulers of Wallachian history, and it's considered a national hero in Romania. He was born as the second son of Vlad Dracula. Vlad Dracula, who became the ruler of Wallachia in 1436. Vlad and his young brother Radu were held as hostage in the Ottoman Empire in 1442 as a measure of secure their father's loyalty to the Ottoman Empire. The name Dracula, which is known primarily as the name of the vampire, was for centuries known as the nickname of Vlad the III. His name had its origin in a sobriquet or nickname of his father. His father was Vlad Dracula, or Vlad the Dragon in medieval Romanian. His father received this nickname after he became a member of the Order of the Dragons. Dracula is the Slavonic genitive from Dracul, meaning the son of Dracul or the son of dragon in English translation. In modern Romanian times, Dracul means imp or the devil, and this nickname contributed to the Vlad's reputation. In Romanian, Vlad the III or Vlad Dracula is known as Vlad Țepeș or Vlad the Impaler. The sobriquet is connected to impalement. That was his favorite method of execution. So the Impaler, the nickname, came from his favorite method of execution. Let's talk about the vampire mythology. The stories about Vlad made him the best known medieval ruler of the Romanian lands in Europe. However, the writer Bram Stoker's Dracula novel, which was published in 1897, was the first book to make a connection between Dracula and vampirism. Bram Stoker had his attention drawn to the blood-sucking vampires from the popular culture from Romania. Those vampires locally are called strigoi in the Romanian folklore, and they are only related to Romanian popular superstition from that time. What is strigoi, or like in English called vampire? Strigoi in Romanian 60 miles from Târgoviște, Sultan Mehmed II, who led his army west to destroy Vlad, and his men were stopped in their tracks by a grisly sight. It was what one contemporary historian called a field of stakes, and must have resembled a forest of impaled Ottoman men, women, and children. Babies were impaled with their mothers, and rotting corpses had birds nesting on their entrails. There were about 20,000 of these dead, dying victims of the Impaler, covering the area 3 miles long and 1 mile wide. Well, Mehmed was said to have been dumbstruck and his men terrified. One of the slaughtered souls was a leading Ottoman, Hamza Pasha, who had been impaled on a stake taller than anyone else. Owing to this right rank, before being punctured on the people, he had his arms and legs cut off. Typically, impalement involved either being skewered horizontally, front to back, or vertically through a bloody orifice, and eventually exiting through the upper body. Often the stakes was rounded at the end rather than pointy to avoid a quick death. Sometimes those who had really upset Vlad, were impaled upside down. And that was one of the stories, the Forest of Impaled. And now, the Massacre of the Boyars. One of the Vlad's most infamous acts of brutality was his purge of the boyars. The boyars were an aristocratic ruling class in many parts of Eastern Europe, and this includes also Wallachia. Vlad, once he became prince in 1456, saw the corrupt and scheming boyars as a potential threat to his position. In Easter 1457, Vlad summoned the principality's boyars to an audience at his castle in Târgoviște. The 500 nobles gathered in their prince's great hall and were asked by Vlad how many princes they had seen in their lives. Some said even 7, others said 20, and even 30. At Vlad's command, the boyars and their attending family members were all seized and impaled alive, all together in the palace courtyard. The sea of rotting corpses was left on display for a while as a warning to those who were thinking of opposing Vlad. was a cousin of Matthias Corvinus. Vlad's eldest son, Mihnea, was born in 1462. Vlad's unnamed second son was killed before 1486. And Vlad, the third son of Vlad, named Vlad Dracula, unsuccessfully laid claim to Wallachia in 1495. What about now the national hero? Because Vlad is considered in Romania a national hero. The Cantacuzino Chronicle was the first Romanian historical work to record a tale about Vlad the Impaler. Most Romanian artists have regarded Vlad as just a ruler and a realistic tyrant who punished criminals and executed unpatriotic nobles to strengthen his central government. The poet Dimitrie Politinianu emphasized Vlad's triumphs in his battles of the Romanians in the middle of the 19th centuries. He regarded Vlad as a reformer whose acts of violence were necessary to prevent the despotism of the local boyars or nobles. One of the greatest Romanian poets, Mihai Eminescu, dedicated a historic ballad, the third letter to the violent Prince of Wallachia, Vlad the Impaler. Since the middle of the 19th century, Romanian historians have treated Vlad as one of the greatest Romanian rulers, emphasizing with his fight for the independence of the Romanian lands. Even Vlad's acts of cruelty were often represented as rational acts of serving national interests. Good. So, well, thankfully, with the link to the Bram Stoker's novel, Count Dracula, Vlad the Impaler had become a worldwide name and myth that it's attracting now hundreds, thousands, and hundreds of thousands of tourists in the Romanian lands. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this historical facts ASMR video. And do not forget, this is not a bedtime story. Until next time.